All right, we've been trying to track him down for a bit, but he's really busy. He's finally with us. We're very pleased. Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy. Mr. Secretary, welcome on the program.
Hey, man, I think this is my inaugural visit to the program. Thanks for having me on. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. We're honored to have you. Clay sends his regards. He is on the golf course today. I'm hearing rumors that he hit it 340 yards from the back tees. I don't know if that's true or not, but this is what people are saying. But tell me this.
Yeah.
Let's
leave
just
leave it to Clay on the golf course on the day I show up.
yeah. Let's do this though. Tell me what's going on. Particularly, I'm a New Yorker. At least I grew up in New York, so I spent plenty of time in Newark Airport. It has been a total mess. The air traffic control situation seems like it's a disaster that you inherited here. And is it getting better? What is the problem? Why are we constantly having all these flight delays that aren't weather related? How does it get fixed? You got a lot of frustrated flyers out there who are hoping you're going to help clear all this nonsense up. What's going on?
Yeah, so first, we have to recognize this has been a problem that's been burning for a long time, but it was coming to a head over the last 4 years, over the last administration. Government watchdog groups told Biden and Buttigieg, listen, you're going to have real problems. You need to fix the air traffic control system. And they didn't do anything. So they've left it to us. And what you saw in Newark is kind of a culmination of several of the problems that we have in the airspace, and they happened at the same time. So in Newark, you had three things. One, they shut down a runway to repave it, right? They opened it up 13 days before schedule, great on the Port Authority. But the two issues that remaining are issues that we see throughout the whole system. We're 3,000 air traffic controllers short nationwide. And so you're seeing a lack of controllers in the Philly TRACON that controls the Newark airspace. And then we're having telecom issues. Our infrastructure for air traffic control still uses copper wires. Nobody uses copper wires anymore. Everyone's on fiber. So we were having telecom issues in the Philly TRACON, and we resolved that issue on the copper wire. But Verizon moved incredibly fast, our partner there, and laid brand new fiber between Philly and New York. And so it's not. By the way, we're still testing that fiber. You want to be ultra safe before you switch it over. That'll be tested through probably the end of June, early July. And then there's 22 controllers in the Philly TRACON. 6 of them are out right now. 5 for the trauma that they had because of the outages from late April, early May. 1 is on sick leave. We brought in 22 new controllers to train in Philly right now. Now, when I say a new controller, what I mean is this could be an air traffic controller who is certified in a different airspace, say Denver. If they come to the Philly TRACON to control a different airspace, they have to get recertified on that specific airspace. And so most of these are experienced controllers, but it's going to take them time to get certified. So the problems of telecom and the problems of the runway and the problems of the controllers, you're going to have a slow roll of continual improvement. But you were seeing, and I'm giving you a lot of information here, Buck, but what you saw was we reduced the capacity at Newark. So all these flights were scheduled, but they weren't flying because we reduced the capacity. And you saw delays and cancellations, and it was a disaster for a couple of weeks. What we've done is we've got all the airlines to agree that we're going to reduce our capacity. So if you book in Newark now, you actually fly. And that's what's key. No one wants to go to the airport and wait 4 hours and be canceled. So because of the agreement that we have at Newark, everyone says, okay, we're not going to have as many flights coming out of here, but the ones we do have, they'll actually go. So we're on the path to resolving it. But all these solutions take time because you can't snap your fingers and create more controllers, and you can't, quickly run fiber and then, quickly test it. But we're doing it, and it's going to get better in Newark. But give me some grace.
Now, nationwide, Mr. Secretary, there's also, it feels like, and you see a lot of people complaining about it on X, I'm sure, just flight delays it feels like the problem is constantly getting worse, not better. So you've talked to us about Newark, but just in general across the country, how do we get it so that, especially a lot of these routes where people are flying, and there's a 60 or 70% delay rate. Some of these delay rates just seems unconscionable. Is that a function of airlines got to scale back the flights? Is it air traffic control? How do we get it so that people can really believe credibly if there's clear skies? Okay, I'm not talking about if there's tornadoes or crazy weather, but if the weather is fine, their plane's probably going to take off when it's supposed to, and they're probably going to get off it when they're supposed to.
Yeah, so we are using equipment that is, 25, 35 years old. And whether it's the towers that are at the airports, the Tracon, is the next ring out from the tower. It's really old equipment, and it's really old telecom. And so I'm going to need a lot of money from Congress. It should have been done, a decade ago. It wasn't. And we have to basically gut and build brand new our air traffic control system with the best technology in the world. We can do it really quickly. It's going to take, 3 years if the Congress clears the permitting process for me. If I don't have to go through NEPA, that just, stacks, month upon month or year upon year, they clear that for me. We're going to be able to do it fast. And what you'll see is you can handle greater capacity with the new system that we're going to build. And as new technology becomes available, you can deploy it off this new system to get even more efficiencies. It's instead of having the flip phone that you can send as many updates as you want to your Razor flip phone, if that's in your genre, it was in mine. It's not going to update. It is what it is. It's old. It's antiquated. That's what we have right now. But if I build you an iPhone 15, you can deploy a ton of technology off of it. We're going to build you the iPhone 15 that you can build technology off of. And you have to think that we're going to have more air travel, but it's going to get more complicated because we're going to deploy in the next years. You're going to see drone technology expand and services expand throughout the country where you're going to get Amazon deliveries. You're going to get your Uber Eats. You're going to get a hot cup of coffee from Starbucks if you get your coffee at Starbucks, all by a drone. And we're going to have eVTOLs. These are like the Ubers in the air. They're big drones that you can hold, 3-4 people in. You're going to see those deploy in the airspace.
How far are we from that, Mr. Secretary? Because that sounds pretty cool.
It's very cool. So they're testing these eVTOLs right now. I think you can see the technology advance. Archer, which is one of the technologies, actually has a contract with the Olympics in 2028. And it's not just to showcase their technology. They actually have to use that technology to move people around all the different sites at the LA Olympics. So it's moving very fast. The FAA has to certify it, make sure it's safe. Eventually, you'll see these will not be piloted. They can be autonomous. But right now, in certain parts of the country, like in Texas, the drone deliveries are happening in certain parts of the country right now. Really successful. People love them. And what they've done with drones is obviously the noise becomes a concern. They've done really well innovating on props to reduce the noise. You barely know what's in the sky when it's hovering over your house, dropping product or setting product down.
That's very cool. Well, that's looking forward to having that going on. But obviously, if it's tough to have air traffic control for planes, if we put thousands, tens of thousands, however many drones and air taxis in the sky, that's gonna I assume that's gonna result in some interesting air traffic issues as well. So hopefully that'll all get squared away. Tell us about the report you just released. California's high-speed rail, $16 billion, 17 years, no track laid. How is that possible?
Yeah, it's a great question. So first, I'm a conservative. I would love to have high-speed rail in America. I think it would be great if we could do it. This was the first big project, and like liberals seem to always deliver the same results, which are not very good. This was supposed to be done years ago, and it was supposed to cost a little over $20 billion. They haven't laid any track. They've spent billions. They've now told us that they can complete a truncated portion of the project by 2033. We looked at their data. They've given us 80,000 pages of documents. They just can't do it. And so they have about $4 billion of grants that have been given by the DOT. And it's our philosophy that if we give them if we let that $4 billion go, that's $4 billion you don't have for other good projects around the country. And I think the taxpayer expects us to spend their money well and not to invest in boondoggles. And so,
where did the money? I got to ask, Mr. Secretary,
go ahead.
where $16 billion? It's a lot of money for a state level project. What was it spent on?
So they were buying land, right? And by the way, there is an eyebrow raised from me in that how is the land? Who is buying land along the route of this proposed high-speed rail, and how much money did they make, and are they connected to politicians? All those questions need to be asked and looked at. Was there any criminal activity? I don't know, but I think it should be looked at. But the project now, it's out over 10 years, and if they did the full project, it was supposed to be, tens of billions. It would be $130 billion to actually build it, and they still don't know that they can do it in any specific time frame. So you have to recognize that it's a nice concept, but liberals don't spend money well, and they haven't done it well on this project. And so, at what point does the government cut bait and say, you know what, we're not going to do this one, but maybe there's other good projects across the country that we could invest in that would serve the population well.
And tell us about what's in assuming it gets passed more or less as is. What is in the big beautiful bill that will go to transportation that will make a difference to the American people?
So for us, there's $12 billion for this brand new air traffic control system. That's not going to be enough. You got to think about this. This is the biggest. It's nationwide infrastructure. It is the most important infrastructure that we're going to build on in the last several decades for sure, because it's such a big part of our economy. People fly, whether it's business or pleasure. We move a lot of products through the air, and so we have $12 billion. We'll need more than that at a later point. They're going to have to give it to us. One of the problems, Buck, in the past is that Congress would give tranches of money to the FAA, and then the priority would change or the administration changes, and they never got the money. So we need to get the money up front. So $12 billion is a nice start. We can begin the project, but this year I need to get the rest of the money. And then in that secondary bill, we can hopefully get the clearing the deck of the permits. I also think it's important. Making sure we don't get a massive tax increase. That's big for us in the big beautiful bill. Also, there's a provision that if you buy a brand new car that was made in America, you can write off up to $10,000 of your interest payments on the vehicle. So again, incentivizing people to buy new cars. And the president's doing all kinds of things to deliver on the promises that he made during the campaign, which, by the way, is nice when we have presidents that actually do what they say or try to accomplish what they promised.
Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy, sir, thank you so much for being with us, and please fix all the things. We appreciate it.
And the potholes too, Buck. Right
Yes.
on your house. I got you.
Yeah, you got me. Thank you, sir. Good to talk to you.
I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.
A data breach last month exposed nearly 200 million records, including login credentials for Google, Apple, Meta, and more. With a number that big, the odds are that some of your own information might well be included. Stolen information contains usernames, passwords, and login URLs connected to services like PayPal, Netflix, and more. Criminals could use this information to commit online identity theft. It's important to understand how cybercrime and identity theft are affecting our lives, just like it's important you know how to protect yourself with LifeLock's online identity theft protection. I've got a LifeLock membership. I've had it for almost a decade now, and I renew my membership every year because it's worth it. LifeLock systems monitor millions of data points a second for risk to your identity. LifeLock detects and alerts you to potential identity threats you may not spot on your own, like loans being taken out in your name. And if you do become a victim of identity theft, a dedicated U.S.-based restoration specialist will fix it, guaranteed, or your money back. It's easy to help protect yourself with LifeLock. Join now. Save 40% off your first year with my name, Buck, as your promo code. Call 1-800-LifeLock or go online to LifeLock.com and use promo code BUCK for 40% off. Terms apply.